very good evening to everyone. I hope you all are doing well. We at BITS Hyderabad are immensely pleased and honored to host our esteemed alumni who have excelled in the UPSC examination. Their achievements are a testament to their hard work and dedication. They're serving as a beacon of inspiration for all of us.
We are confident that this session will be highly beneficial to all of our civil servant enthusiasts. Our distinguished guests have not only succeeded in one of the toughest exams, but have also become role models for many aspiring students. Throughout the session, they will share their invaluable experiences, insights, and strategies. The stories of perseverance and success will surely motivate and guide us in our journeys.
There's a very famous one-liner about UPSC that goes, UPSC आग का दरिया है और डूब के जाना है. So today we have the privilege of hosting two guests who have navigated through these challenges and pressures of this exam and have emerged successful. Without further ado, I, Ishrita Mathur,
And I, Usman Bukhari.
your hosts for the evening, would like to introduce our esteemed speakers to all of you.
Today, we're honored to welcome Mr. Kunal Rastogi, a distinguished BITS Pilani alumnus from the class of 2017, who achieved an impressive rank 15 in UPSC 2023. Along with him, we have Mr. Amritanshu Nayak, an esteemed alumnus of BITS Hyderabad from the class of 2018, who secured a splendid All India rank of 110 in UPSC 2023. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Kunal Rastogi and Mr. Amritanshu Nayak as they share their insights and experiences with us.
Good evening. First and foremost, heartfelt congratulations to the both of you. Achieving such remarkable ranks in one of the toughest exams in the nation is surely commendable. We understand that your UPSC preparation journey must have been filled with numerous challenges, and we're really eager to hear about all of it in detail. With your permission, may we please begin with the questions?
Definitely.
Sure,
And
go ahead.
as for our audience, if any one of you have questions, then please feel free to type it out in the comments section of our Facebook stream and we'll take care of it. So, sir, can we begin with the questions?
Yeah, please do.
Kunal, sir?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So, as both of you are alumni of BITS, could you give us a brief insight into your journey? Share the story behind your entrance into the BITS Pilani campus and all.
Okay, so shall I go first?
So should I start? Okay, Amritanshu, go ahead.
Okay. So, hello everybody. First of all, I would like to thank BITS Embryo to invite both of us to their esteemed platform and help us share our stories about our UPSC preparation and our campus life in general. So, my journey towards BITS begins during my 11th and 12th standard, and we knew that BITS was a very highly acclaimed college which had a lot of freedom for allowing the students to choose their own careers. So while I was preparing for my engineering entrance tests in 11th and 12th, I knew in my heart that either I will go to some older IIT or to BITS. And by God's grace, I was able to make it to BITS Hyderabad in the electrical and electronics engineering sphere.
Kunal, sir, if you could go ahead.
So my journey also started for UPSC. I'll come to BITS, but my journey also for UPSC started with a BITS Embryo talk. So in our campus at Pilani, BITS Embryo organized a talk by Anudeep Durishetty sir of 2017. So I'm highly grateful that BITS Embryo has again taken this initiative to invite us to further help us to motivate some students from BITS Pilani so that they could also join the civil services. As far as my journey for BITS is concerned, as Amritanshu said, in 11th and 12th, I also prepared for engineering, and BITS Pilani was one of my top choices. And I still remember the day when the scorecard flashed. Fortunately, I was able to get through, and I got enrolled in civil engineering in BITS Pilani campus. There, due to the zero attendance policy and the humanity electives that BITS Pilani allows, I got myself acquainted with the humanities subjects, particularly placement internship as well, that BITS Pilani provides, actually pushed me further towards the civil services, because because during my internship I knew that this is one thing that I personally could not follow for the next 30-35 years. So in both ways, BITS Pilani was also a push as well as a pull factor for the civil services examination.
It's an interesting answer, sir. Could definitely resonate with our time of getting into bits. Even I, like both of us are from civil engineering department. Me and Osman. That's wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, like elaborating on this thing of how your BITS Pilani journey, like the 4 years or 5 years, how did they exactly shape you towards this UPSC examination? How did they take you there? Can you please elaborate about that a little bit?
So BITS Pilani has a very good culture for promoting us to go out services. Because in my first and second year, I was less involved in doing the academic rigor and more involved in social services, particularly the NSS, which operated in our campus. And my experience at NSS actually uh, acquainted me with the problems that the society faces today and how one could gain happiness by solving small problems at the society level. So perhaps that experience that I gained in my first and second year proved to be invaluable for me as a push factor towards the civil services examination.
So, sir, for Amritanshu Nayak, sir, I have a question for you. So,
Yeah.
you graduated in 2022 and appeared for the exam in 2023, which is only a year's gap. What motivated you to pursue UPSC immediately after graduation, and how did you make that decision? Like, did you begin your preparation while you were on campus or like later? Can we like get to know?
Okay, so the biggest factor which influenced my UPSC preparation and the decision to go into civil services was the COVID pandemic. And I saw my father, who is himself a civil servant, working in very adverse situations to create positive change on the ground. And that is what motivated me to pursue this career. And now coming to the specifics of preparation, I started my preparation when at the end of my third year. And my purpose, I had completely filled up my third year, second semester. So I had a lot of time in my fourth year, for which I only had one subject and my PS2. So at the end of third year, I started to prepare rigorously and gave my first attempt in 2022 along with my PS2. And fortunately, I was able to get through the prelims, but unfortunately, I could not make it into the mains. But for 2023, I studied once again. I had to quit my job and focus completely on civil services preparation. And eventually, I believe that with God's grace, I was able to make it in the merit list.
That's an interesting story, sir.
Yeah, thank
Coming
you.
to Kunal, sir. So now you graduated in 2021 and you appeared for the exam in 2023. Like, what was it that made you think of a drop year, or like the gap time in between, and how did you prepare for that step? You were going to give it in 2023 and take a gap in between.
So, like Amritanshu drop year per se, I gave 3 attempts at UPSC. So I dropped the college placements as well in 21. So I did not sit for it, and I directly appeared for my 2020 long gap between my first attempt and the third attempt. And finally, but I kept on. I knew that this was calling, and I had to give all for this particular examination. So I reappeared in the 2023 attempt as well. And fortunately, like Amritanshu said, and God's grace, I was able to clear all the 3 stages this time.
That's great. That's a lot of dedication there. Nice.
So, sir, we
Yeah.
would like to touch upon your professional experience and how it helped you through it. So, Mr. Amritanshu, sir, considering your internship at JP Morgan, could you share the experience you gained from your interaction with the business and technology sector during that time? And how did this experience directly contribute to your success at the UPSC exam?
Okay, so with respect to my corporate tenure, I would like to say that for the academic purposes, corporate tenure did not serve me much use. But when you come to the part where you demonstrate your skills in management, skills in leadership, the corporate sector played a very big role. When you work in the corporate sector and in a competitive firm like JP Morgan or ZS Associates for even a very short period of time, you inculcate some of those critical decision making skills and critical analytical skills, which are very important while sitting for the UPSC examination. And the discussions which you have with your very smart colleagues also enhances your vision and enhances your perspective while giving this examination.
Continuing with this, like similarly, I think Kunal sir also you interned at SMC Investments for like 3 months or something. What was your experience like? How was corporate life for you? And how did you get into UPSC after that? What did it teach you?
To be very honest, I did not have enlightening experience like Amritanshu at the firm. My job was much more about crunching numbers and doing it on Excel, and I was extremely bored throughout my 3 months. Uh, and I think my 3 months at SMC Investments actually molded me for civil services more than anything else. So I think each and every one of us has unique experiences, and my experience was not that good. And perhaps after that, I started to give high weightage to civil services as a career option.
Nice, lovely. That's like two
Those
sides of the same coin, right?
Yeah, it is.
So now, sir, touching on your UPSC preparation journey, what role did online resources, coaching, peer groups play in your preparation for UPSC, and how did it affect all of your like scenarios, study situations, study groups? What did you do?
Okay, Kunal should go first,
So
I guess.
should I go first?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure,
please.
sure, sir.
Okay. So since my father is also in the services, he's in the police service. So we have been transferred a lot. So the 3 attempts I have given in 3 different cities. I have visited 6 cities east. So in my first attempt, I gave it from Tripura. So with my father, and I did not gain any knowledge regarding the UPSC examination. Regarding online as well, I think few platforms are better than others. Like Telegram is a very important uh, medium through which you could exchange resources and also get into. Apart from that, the online coaching medium I also took that because I was at a distant place, and the online services are also equally relevant and equally good as the offline centers. So I feel that online thing, specifically after COVID, has been a boon for aspirants like us who cannot come to Delhi.
Right.
Sir, Amritanshu, sir, if you would like to add.
So adding on to Kunal, I would say that online resources like coaching institutions themselves and the social media groups like Telegram play a very huge role in our preparation, because all of the material which you are finding it in various places is collated in in a single place. In addition to that, through YouTube, you can get lots of insights, and hitherto unknown points of discussion can also be achieved through them. And with respect to peer groups, I don't have much idea because I was preparing completely alone. But while interacting with aspirants and my fellow rankers, I came to know that having a very good peer group, which motivates you and which pushes you to study more, is very crucial and can lead to multiplier effects in the journey of civil services.
Just to add on, I think the BITSian community is also very strong with regards to civil services examination. So there are various Telegram channels help me a lot, gaining useful guidance as to how to navigate through the huge puzzle of civil services. Plus, there were a lot of batchmates of mine who were also preparing simultaneously for the examination. So having a good bonding with them actually helped me through the down phases that one generally experiences through the preparation cycle.
It's absolutely true. That's a added benefit of being a BITSian, I feel. You get all of these groups that are interested in what you are interested in. Now, continuing with the fact of your, like, as you mentioned, the material and the subjects and all. So, both of you come from obviously engineering backgrounds. How difficult or how easy was it to navigate through these absolutely new subjects? Like, I know Kunal sir touched a little upon it, but like, if you both of you could elaborate more on that, was it a difficult task?
Okay, now coming
Amritanshu,
to the, yeah, I'm just going first. So coming to the issue of going towards going from science-based backgrounds to humanities-based background. Yeah, initially it was a bit difficult, but once you start to do your regular work and once you start to put in the hours and you do the required hard work, eventually and slowly it becomes easier and you get a hang of things which are in place there. And and if proper smart work is also done along with the hard work, then success in the UPSC exam becomes a lot easier.
uh, elaborating upon what Amritanshu said, I think hard work is common for all the people who are eventually going to crack this examination. What engineering actually teaches us is the smart work thing. So we as engineers always try to find shortcuts and easier and efficient methods to read the same things. And I think that analytical mindset that one gains from the engineering studies actually helped me a lot, per se, in tackling the humanities option. So instead of reading heavy books and going after multiple sources like the people from humanities background do, I limited my sources to what the coachings actually offered. And I tried to find out efficient ways to remember the facts and figures that are present in those particular options. So I think that thing, that mindset that one gains being an engineer, the problem solving skills actually helps you to solve the actual problems which one faces in the humanities subjects.
I think hearing you say that, like, engineering gives you a push or like an edge, I'm sure a lot of students are getting encouraged by that. So wonderful way to put things.
And continuing on the same thing, so like, can you share some of your effective note-taking, revision, time management, and your schedule for UPSC preparation and what you all went through?
I think Kunal should go first.
Uh, so, see, regarding timetable, I never made a timetable in my life. I don't think we are robots that we could uh, jot down our daily routines to particular time slots. And I always focused on task-based studies. So I used to give myself a particular task, and I ensured that I remained disciplined enough to complete those tasks within the stipulated amount of time. Second thing regarding note making. So personally, I felt note making was a redundant process, to be very honest, because once you're making notes, then you're reading it again, and then you're again transferring those notes into the answers that you're going to write for the examination. So I thought that why not club these two together? So I used to ensure that my test series were my notes itself. So even if I had to revise in future, I would revise my test series that I had given. And I used to ensure that I give as many tests as possible, because only answer writing is the single most important thing which could get you a good rank. So I focus more on that and less on note making things. Amritanshu,
Yeah,
if you could.
yeah. As Kunal effectively mentioned about note taking and all, I think my views are also similar. But I also had some amount of static notes available with me so that I could refer them from time to time and try to inculcate those in my answers. And now coming to the thing about timetables and time management and the discipline required for it, I think BITS offers the best thing for that, and that is the 0% attendance, which allows you to have your own internal locus of control and you decide your own tasks at hand by yourself only. So so I just had to do what I was doing in bits, and I had to ensure that I was putting in 10 to 12 hours of study daily. And post that, I had some time for entertainment, some time for sleep, among others. So all in all, that are the things I would like to share.
It's excellent usage of the 0% attendance. All of us are doing the same.
I think about 0% attendance is also a myth. You have to attend the Q test and all,
It is.
No,
It
as
now
is.
well
It's
as
a
the labs.
Oh,
it's
mechanical it
completely changed
was.
for us now. For us, it's
yeah.
like
What?
there's like a 10% attendance weightage is there. So we have to attend classes if you need that extra 10 to 20 marks. So there's no 0% left for
Oh,
For
us.
some
so
lectures, it's there.
For
No,
some
marks are being
lectures,
Phoenix
give
counted for
cutting
also,
lectures.
classes.
or Phoenix also it is there, or Phoenix it
No,
is
this is for
going.
like we just completed our first year. So for
Mhm.
first year, collectively, there were about some lectures, like about 3 to 4, that had continuous attendance policy where you're like adjust upon your attendance for like 10 or 20% of your
They had like an
grade.
exit
Gen
test thing. After the end of the
Chem
class, they take a
and
quiz.
And then
Oh,
there's
okay,
this
okay.
fingerprint checking and
Yeah.
everything and all.
I think they would be for Gen Chem and Gen Bio type of thing,
Oh yes,
No,
Gen
we
Bio.
had like Gen Bio.
right?
Gen Bio was the
You
only
still have
subject
those?
that had exit test after every lecture.
No, I remember
Okay.
in my
For
time, when I was in my first and second year, the mechanical people used to have a lot of classes because they used to have these tests in every class, and that had a very
hmm.
significant weightage in the final grade. So mechanical people would be going to the
No,
class,
no.
and us Phoenix people were a bit on the lenient side because we also had the imparters working for us.
Acha. For Pilani campus, the online thing wasn't working, and the brown envelope could come at any time, be it at the start of the class or at
Yes.
the end of the class. So we had to attend the classes.
I like how we're bonding on the same nightmares that we've had. Talking about nightmares, let's talk about overcoming challenges. So, like, what were the most notable difficulties you guys had to deal with during your whole preparation journey? And what was like the strategy or go to strategy to cope with all of it?
Hmm. So Amritanshu?
Okay, for me, the biggest difficulty was my handwriting and the lack of a writing practice. Because in bits, we generally did not write anything apart from the tests and all, and everything was done on the laptop or the computer, right? So for UPSC, I had to
Right.
acclimatize myself by writing 10 to 12 hours every day, and I had to work on my handwriting to make it more legible for the examiner to read. So this was the biggest difficulty I faced in my preparation. Apart from the very examination and the pertinent competition which you face on a daily basis.
Absolutely. So I think the biggest nightmare that I faced was whether to continue in the preparation cycle after not able to clear the second prelims. So I had given interview 1 week prior to the result of the next prelims, and in 1 week my whole world shattered because 1 week before I was dreaming about getting into the services as I had given the interview, and the very next week I wasn't able to clear the prelims examination, and I was again at the bottom of the food chain. So the biggest nightmare I didn't cope with the prelims. I wasn't talking to a lot of people, let alone my family and all. And I think I could have better managed it. But yes, I think ignorance was a bliss at that point of time. I ignored everybody and worthwhile. Uh, Getting into a private sector was again a very big hassle because you need to again make up those CVs and all. You need to update your skill set for that is required for the private sector. And UPSC again came out to be the easy way out at that point of time because I knew that I had cleared the interview. I had cleared the mains examination one time before, and perhaps if I write it again, I could clear it again. And so I decided that I would go ahead with this. So I think that decision making was perhaps one of the most challenging times of my life.
Because it was confidence taking you through everything and self
Not
belief.
confident, not confident in self belief because once you are not able to clear a particular stage of the examination, actually the first stage of the examination, your confidence is also shattered. There is a lot of self doubt that not only creeps from within you, but the whole ecosystem that surrounds you also creeps into your mentality. So
Right.
I think facing those as well as your inner doubts is very difficult at any stage of life. So I think ignorance was one thing that I used for coping up.
So continuing on that, in this world of depression and people speaking behind your back, maybe in front of you, parents and everything, taunts, how do you think you kept yourself positive and ensured that like emotional well-being during that preparation wala phase, like nothing affects you and then you're going to do it? Like how did that go for you?
See, I
Okay.
feel that. Acha, go ahead, Amritansh.
नहीं नहीं कुणाल, you should proceed. तुमने चालू कर लिया था. So
So, See, there are a lot of people who are going to say a lot of stuff about you, and you cannot change that. Uh, and being very positive all throughout is also not possible. To be very frank, it's a utopia that you can be happy all the time. There are some times which are meant to be sad, and accepting that there are times where you need to be sad and you need to move on is one important thing that I learned through this UPSC journey. So sometimes acceptance is a very important factor. Be it happiness, be it sadness, they are just parts of life. And the day you start treating them the same, I think you will be able to be mentally resilient enough to face the new coming challenges that will surely come about your life. I think going ahead as well, again, happiness and sadness will be a part of my life, and accepting my way through them is the only way through it. I don't think there is any other option. Uh,
Yeah, adding on to what Kunal said, I also had a very similar mindset with respect to the emotional turmoil and emotional well-being. But I also tried to mitigate some of that because it is not possible that you are completely cut off from the world and you are not at all affected by it. So I used to prepare myself mentally that one day I will be able to achieve what I have set for myself. And in addition to that, I had the support of my parents who provided me with a very conducive environment. So a combination of these, along with a lot of studies, I think we were able to get through.
It's a very nice, articulate way of putting out your emotions out there. It's wonderful. Also, coming to like the main exam and the interview and everything, I'm sure all of our aspirants who are watching would like to, know about your experience during the prelims, the mains, the interview stage. Any funny or any, nice anecdotes that happened with you and that you would like to narrate?
Okay, so
so I don't think there is that. Go ahead.
Kunal and me both appeared for 2023 attempt, right? And the prelims paper was the most difficult, I think, Kunal, for the last several years.
Yeah, sure,
Prelims and
surely,
CSAT.
Okay.
So I think one notable
absolutely.
anecdote would be that all of us were completely blank when first time we saw the pattern of the prelims paper and the CSAT paper. A lot many of us were completely blank about what we are going to do. For myself, I appeared for the paper and I came back and I threw my question paper on the top of my almirah and did not take a look at the various answer keys the coaching institutes were launching because I was so afraid that the prelims I had flunked the prelims paper, so I did not check my result at all. But when the final result came, and I was very elated that I had been selected. So that would be one funny anecdote which I would like to share with you guys.
That's great.
Uh, like Amritanshu said, this time the paper is relatively easy. In 2023, perhaps the toughest paper ever set was made for the uh,
Sir,
exam paper.
if I
Yeah.
could, I apologize for stopping you, but your internet
In my
connection seems a bit unstable. We're hardly able to hear
second
anything you say.
round, uh, uh, so during the uh, for,
We're unable to hear you still. It's like the voice is not coming through at all.
is it stable now?
It's certainly better, sir.
It's a bit better, but yeah,
I
it's
think you
still
should
breaking a
close your
lot.
video, Kunal. Video close kar lo.
Maybe it'll work then. I think so. Left to join back.
Yep.
So in the meantime, any like memorable things from your interview? Because like the interview is certainly, you know, I think the most challenging part of it, if I'm not wrong. But like any interesting thing from there?
Yeah, with respect to interview, I think that whatever you saw in the 12th fail movie, except for the actual interview part, most of it is actually very true. That how you are greeted at the security gate and how are you going into the examination, the central hall in which you're sitting, and the C-shaped corridors from where you have to go to your final interview room. So a very funny thing about interview is that while you are sitting in the chair in the front, a red light, like you see in the front of operation theater, goes on and off, which is an indication of whether you can come in or come out of the room. So that is an amusing thing which you observe once you go into the Dulpur house. That is the UPSC, the headquarters of UPSC.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's new information. I didn't know this. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Kunal,
Sorry
sir,
for the internet connection.
Okay.
so yeah, now it's clear. Now
Yeah.
it's clear. Thank you,
So
sir.
I was narrating. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Am
you're
I
audible.
audible now?
You're audible.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, sure. I was narrating my CSAT experience this time around.
yes, sir.
So in the first half an hour, I was only able to solve 3 to 4 questions of maths again. And I this time again felt that I'm not going to clear the examination. So for a brief moment of time, I thought that perhaps I wasn't able to clear it again. So for the next 1 hour, I shifted to English. And I still remember after 1.5 hours, a storm had hit Jodhpur, a dust storm. So the lights went out at our place. And I think for 10 to 12 minutes, there was no light. And as the darkness loomed around me, I thought that this signifies my future as well. कि सब अंधेरा होता जा रहा है. And uh, I then I did not budge. I kept on answering as many questions. That was pretty intense. With regards to the interview process as well, as Amritanshu must have said about the whole experience, I have given 2 interviews. So I have experienced the Dholpur House twice, and both the attempts it was completely different. In my first attempt, I still remember that I had written cooking as one of my hobbies, and I think one of the members of the board must have eaten avocado that day, and they kept on asking me for 15 minutes what avocado is and how it is grown. And I vehemently said many times that I don't know about avocado, but still they did not budge. And unfortunately, I scored very less that time. This time around as well, I think the interview was more conventional because most of the questions revolved around my DAF. But again, there are a few questions that are always going to be bouncers. Like since I'm civil engineer, there was a lot of talk about Swachh Bharat. So that my flush uses 6 liters of water. How much water do you think would be used in a twin pit latrine system? So I was again shocked at the level of question that they are asking. But again, this is the interview process, and you are expected to know these uncertain things. And perhaps I navigated it well. So this time around, I scored pretty much better than what I did last time.
That's great. It's like all of these unexpected challenges that get thrown your way, they must be intimidating, right? So I think it's wonderful that you were able to, navigate through it and emerge out victorious. Similar fashion, like what is that one piece of advice that maybe you didn't get, but you would like to give out to our BITS students if they want to, pass this exam? Like a unique piece of advice that maybe
Amritanshu?
you didn't get.
One unique thing which I would give to people who are appearing for civil services would be that they do their hard work honestly and be consistent. I know it sounds pretty boring at this point to talk about consistency and hard work, but at the end of it, boring is what leads to great achievements. And if you are able to navigate through the boring and the rigorous phases of your life with hard work, you will be able to achieve much greater targets than any of us can imagine.
Absolutely true. Kunal, so would you like to add something?
Uh, the one thing that I would perhaps, yeah, the one thing perhaps that I would say to my juniors is this examination is not about knowledge, as most people uh, generally conjecture it to be. This exam is more about wisdom that you develop. So by wisdom, what I mean is, even if you don't have a large pool of knowledge, but you are able to apply it at the right time, at the right place, I think you'll still be able to crack this examination. So don't run after various resources. Don't run after everything that is under the sun. There is a fixed logic for detecting that is my juniors.
What Kunal is mentioning, that you don't have to be perfectionist to get through civil services. It is okay that you are imperfect, because not everybody, because the syllabus of UPSC is too vast to be completed perfectly. So it is okay that you are not able to completely do everything, and you are imperfect in your own little ways. And eventually, if you do a required hard work, the success will be at your step. It will be following your hard work. Yeah.
It's great advice. I think that's what scares a lot of aspirants early on only. You have to be, perfect to achieve things. It's great news for all of them.
Well said, sir. So touching on the same topic, what do you think are some common tiny errors that people make, and you want to like correct this in the UPSC aspirant style, and how they can overcome them? If you could help out.
Okay, so two things come to my mind in particular. First, as I mentioned about being a perfectionist, that you go so deep into a topic that you are missing out on other important things you have to study. So one is that, and second is completing the paper. So you guys might be thinking that it is ridiculous that who in the UPSC examination is not able to complete the paper. But trust me, when you are facing 20 questions and around 3,000 words of writing in 3 hours, people tend to miss questions. So these two are the biggest mistakes which I would advise the civil service aspirants to stay away from.
Uh, Adding on to what Amritanshu said, I think avoiding answer writing, that is one thing. Again, read more tests. I think the reverse should that give as many tests as possible. I think you need to understand what the examination actually demands. So there are a lot of aspirants who just dive into the preparation without actually giving a thought as to what the examination requires, what the syllabus is, what are the nitty-gritties to this particular thing. Instead, they just follow randomly what toppers are saying and so on and so forth. I think each and every preparation is unique and make it your own. So originality is very important in this preparation as well. So I think these two things, that don't avoid answer writing and maintain your originality throughout the process.
That's great. Thank you. As you people said earlier, like Kunal sir said that he didn't really talk to a lot of people, he didn't talk to his parents and friends, while Amritanshu sir had like the complete opposite this thing. What are your views on having a good support system and the importance in your life? Would you recommend it? Would you say that it does matter? Like, what are your opinions on it?
It is highly essential to have a very good support system, because I mentioned earlier about having a conducive environment and others. Even in my preparation days, I was not talking to much people, which was contrary to what I was doing in my college years. So having a close conducive system have of close friends, family, and others would definitely be a edge in your preparation.
I think I also accept what Amritanshu is saying. Having a good support system is very essential, but you need to ensure that you also are drawing some certain boundary lines. Because a lot of people who over rely on the support systems and they talk incessantly about things. Essential thing is that the support system supports you at the right place and also knows when to leave you, because at the end of the day, this preparation is to be done by you. The time management is to be done by you. So the support system is as good as you are using it. So you need to be very careful about that. And I think if one is, then perhaps the support system is the best thing one could get.
That's interesting
So, sir,
perspectives.
uh, touching in on all of this, and so your UPSC journey was a long and not an easy one. So, but still, if you would want to summarize this journey in one word or a keyword, or what was your personal mantra, then what would that be for both of you?
For me, it would be metamorphosis, because
Can I
it
go first?
completely changed. It completely changed how I was looking at things, and what changes underwent my personality. So it was completely transformational for me. Kunal, you can proceed.
Uh, Not one word, but one poem, I think. That is one thing that I used to again whenever.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but Kunal sir is absolutely not audible right now. The video is also gone, I think. I
So
think
let's wait. Let's wait till Kunal sir comes back, and until then, Amritanshu sir, can you like elaborate on the word metamorphosis and how it shaped up?
So what do you mean by metamorphosis? Metamorphosis refers to the process when you undergo a complete change, right? So while preparing for civil services, the amount of hard work you do and the amount of personality changes it requires to clear it makes me wonder about whether I am the same person before and after the preparation. So if one word comes to my mind while thinking about civil service preparation, I would definitely want it to be metamorphosis.
like it's a great test to see till where you can push your limits. I think that's wonderful to know about yourself. I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
Also, sir, now, I mean, we know about your UPSC journey and everything now. Going a little back in time, let's see the common point between all of us, like our BITS memories. What are some of your fondest memories from college? Like, may it be academics or like trouble you got into or something like that, your friends?
Okay, so about trouble, we have to speak offline. And about my social circle and all, I was quite active in my BITS days in all the clubs and departments. I also became the vice president of the entrepreneurship cell during my college years, during my third year in particular. So overall, if I could speak about BITS, I think BITS has been one of the most definitive moments in my career and in my personality as a whole, because it changed me in so many ways that I cannot even think of, and it actually prepared me to think independently and think out of the box,
Right.
and gave
That's
me a great set of peers and friends as well. Yeah,
one of the best parts about college, right?
yeah, definitely.
So Kunal sir, you were telling us about some
Back to us.
poem. If you
Ah,
could continue.
Sorry for the internet connection, guys.
It's
I
fine.
No
It's
don't
fine.
problem.
think.
No problem.
So yeah, the one thing that actually has been transformative for my life is a poem by Rudyard Kipling. It goes like this: that if you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds of distant run, yours will be the earth and everything in it. And I think same goes for all the endeavors that one pursues in his life. That one needs to dream big, one needs to think big, but at the same time, one needs to also for it. And that particular thing I important for UPSC. Uh, Anybody who is knows the odds that approximately 6 to 7 lakh people are sitting for the examination, and the number of people who are actually becoming civil servants is hardly 1,000. So the odds are always against you. So you have to dream big. But once you have dreamt big, you also need to have the capacity and the capability to transform that dream into reality, and that is only through hard work. So I think that is one thing that is a success mantra for at least me in my life. So that is also equally applicable for UPSC.
So, sir,
Way to
as
put
you
things.
guys now will get on with your post, what is the key mantra or some society issue that you would like to work on as a part of your service? Anything in your mind specifically that you would like to work on?
In civil services, one needs to keep in mind what the public demands, right? There may be multiple agendas that I may be having in my life, that I want to work in this and work in that. But suppose I am transferred or posted in a district which does not have these problems. So I've always kept my mindset open and flexible, that whatever the urgent needs are to be met of the public, that would be my priority agenda. So I have never fixated on which particular sectors I want to work upon. The sectors which the public demands, I think that is my primary agenda.
And Amritanshu, sir?
My answer would be it's very similar to what Kunal said.
So it's
Thank you
all
so much for
dependent
that
on your posting.
answer.
Hmm.
Right. Great. We are really glad to have civil servants like you up next in line. And with this, Kunal sir and Amritanshu sir, we bring this interview to an end. Thank you so much for this wonderful and informative interview. You shared like valuable insights with us, and we are very grateful for that. Your story is truly inspiring. It has provided a great roadmap for a lot of aspiring candidates, I'm sure. We wish you all the best for your future endeavors, and we would hope to see you continue making a positive impact in the society via your work. Thanks a lot.
Thank you again. Thank you again.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
And to our audience, thank you for joining
Also,
us
to our
today.
audience members,
Stay tuned for more such inspiring sessions and keep striving towards your goal. Thank you. Thank you to everyone.
thanks a lot.